You'd think a guy who signed an exclusive contract with YouTube would know how to log into his YouTube accounts, but it took me 2 weeks and a couple emails to Susan to get access back to Mogul Mail. And you might notice I'm at a different setup because I'm on Christmas vacation. Don't judge the setup too harshly. It's a bit scuffed, but we'll make do. And like usual, we're talking about some hot, juicy drama. But unlike usual, it involves Logan Paul, who's been on the straight and narrow over the past couple years and on kind of a redemption trail that's grinded to a halt after a 3-part series was dropped by CryptoZoo, an investigative crypto journalist who honestly is my favorite creator over the past year. Consider this video the Spark Notes. It's super worth watching every single one of these videos because they're so well researched and so well made. I think CryptoZoo did a really good job. I actually wasn't even going to make a video about this, but then I talked about it on stream and it felt like people didn't even know about it. So this is, again, just a little Spark Notes, but make sure to watch the full thing. Now, how bad is this drama really? Well, let's take a look at Logan Paul's most recent podcast, Impulsive. If you take a look at the likes and dislikes, it's not doing so hot. And that's his own fans who are disliking the video. So imagine the people who don't even like him. Now, I think for many of you, when I said Redemption Trail, that might not have really clicked in your head. Because I think a lot of people just kind of tuned Logan Paul out of their mind after the Suicide Forest thing. And this is like the last image they have of him. But Logan Paul, mistake not, has been on a hell of a redemption trail for like 4 years now. In a lot of people's minds, he's matured, he's a really good content creator, and he's someone a lot of people look up to. I mean, there's a Sunny V2 video about the unforeseen redemption of Logan Paul. Shit, even Google Trends shows that his fight with Floyd Mayweather was bigger news and a larger cultural impact than the whole Suicide Forest scandal. So Logan Paul, again, supposed to be mature, on the up and up. However, he does seem to have one huge fault, which is greed. Now, Logan Paul is fucking rich. You don't need me to tell you that. I don't know how much money he has. I would assume like $50 to $70 million. At least enough to buy a card for $5.3 million without so much as batting an eye. He's even doing some greedy moves like moving to Puerto Rico to save money on taxes. His words, not mine. Which, you know, I can't blame him too much. He lived in California, which has 37% federal income taxes at his bracket level and then 13% state income taxes. So, you know, he's saving a lot of money moving to Puerto Rico. But his greed didn't just stop with trying to save money from the government. He's also trying to get more money from his viewers, his fans, and his loyal followers through a crypto scam. It's always a crypto scam. Why is it always? I guess that's just the crypto space these days. Now, he made something called CryptoZoo, which I'll explain in just a moment, or I'll have CryptoZoo explain because it's a little bit confusing. This is not his first attempt at dipping the toe into crypto. He made basically a bullshit coin called Dink Doink Coin, which had a mascot that basically looked like Clippy from Microsoft Word, but inbred. And his second attempt was something more serious, something that he's super hyped up called CryptoZoo. Now, this is Logan Paul talking about his new project.
I'm excited to launch my game.
You keep using and you just did it again. You keep using a word there. Game. You're not using like a project. It's a game.
It's a game. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
So that's his newest project, CryptoZoo. It's a crypto thing that makes you money, a play-to-earn game, which is a series of things that have come out over the past few years. That's a part of the whole crypto Web3 boom that all seem to be scams.
Now, you might be wondering, how's it possible to earn money from a game?
It's a great question. Yes, I am.
Well, let me try to break it down for you.
Now, this is fucking confusing, but CryptoZoo goes into depth on what this is and how it works.
How it was supposed to work. You started by buying this crypto token called Zoo, which is their in-game currency. And you use Zoo coins to then buy egg NFTs, which you can then hatch to become animals. You then can breed those two animals to become hybrid animals. For example, if you breed a gorilla and a kitten, you get a Gore Kitty. And the more rare the NFT, the higher the daily yield of Zoo tokens that animal earns you every day. Theoretically, it works like almost like passive income. You can then burn your animal NFTs to release the Zoo they earned back to you, and from there you can invest it into eggs or just cash out. Now, some of you of the...
Now, might be like you guys, fucking confused as shit. But basically the game at its core is take animals, combine animals, make new animals. That's the game aspect, which is basically like taking two pictures and then one other stock image picture comes out. And I'm not memeing when I say stock image. They literally used stock images for all of that. Now, the weird part about this is how much Logan Paul hyped all of this up. But what was the actual result of it? Well, nothing. This was announced in 2020, and no game was ever made. They never made it that far. They did allow people to buy some of the tokens, and they did allow people to buy the eggs, which is like basically buying NFTs, but you couldn't do anything with them because nothing ever existed. Nothing was ever created, and the people who were supposed to make the game were never paid, so they just didn't make the game. They didn't give the money back. They just didn't make the game.
To continuously lie, lead people on, hype people up to put more
This is
money
an investor.
in. All the while in the background, things are going down, things are hitting the fan, and you've left us holding the bag.
I think really well spoken. That's someone who invested into CryptoZoo, and he's totally right. The thing fell to shit, and although Logan Paul might have a renowned ability to hype things up, it seems like he has no ability to actually create something of value or stick to his word. And this is just a super, super cringe conversation that Logan had with somebody else who's involved named Crypto King, where Crypto King accuses Logan of stealing money from him.
Logan, you stole 40 million in tokens from me. You are a scam artist. You are a liar, and you betrayed your own community. You aren't that guy. Logan replies, "Oh, trust me, bro. I am that guy."
Which is the cringiest text conversation I've ever read in my fucking life. Now, there's not necessarily a scam at this point. This is just Logan who hyped up a project, the project failed, and a lot of people invested into it, and he didn't follow up on his word. But he's not the only person involved in this project. To me, the scam lies on how they were expecting to make money. Let's just take a look at this.
Takes a bit of explaining. Now, just so we're clear, a pre-sale is where you sell investors coins, usually at a discount, before you've launched. And then when you launch, you give them those coins. Now, like I said, the team didn't want to do that. So what they did instead was they bought the tokens on the open market right after launch. But they tried to get clever with it because they didn't actually announce that they were launching this coin at all. They stealth launched it on June 11th and didn't announce this token through Logan until August 18th.
So they basically gave themselves a 5-week window to buy a bunch of the coin at the super, super low price that it launched with because nobody knew about it. It wasn't hyped up at all. They bought their own tokens. They told friends and family about it. They basically tried to get everybody in on the ground floor of what feels almost exactly like a pyramid scheme. They're at the highest possible tier. Then they get their friends and family. Then they announce it to the public. So the first buyers will be in the next tier. And then they'll tell their friends and so on and so forth. But again, they got it at the cheapest price, so when it gets jacked up because there's so many excited Logan Paul fans who trust him because he's mature and changed, and those guys start buying, they'll be able to sell and make a bit of money with these secret tokens that they bought. They, by the way, also get tokens for being like founders of it, but they are locked to not selling those tokens for 6 months. These are just secret tokens that they're able to sell without actually like hurting the ecosystem because it doesn't look like the founder selling because they kind of hid that they sell it. They're basically trading, but on the inside, which is legal because there's no regulation. It should be illegal though.
Meaning they had all that time to silently buy up as much of the supply at a steep discount as they wanted.
And that's where the scam starts for me, at least. That's where I feel like Logan did something that's super unethical and super greedy.
He says,
and this is what just kind of caps off the greed to me. Now, there was a bit of drama between Logan and this guy called Jake, the Crypto King, which never trusts a guy who calls himself the fucking Crypto King. Basically, Logan was accusing him of telling people about the early bird sale that was supposed to be secret because a bunch more tokens were purchased by a bunch more accounts than Logan was originally expecting, and he thought that was fucked up. And Jake was like, no, it's not a big deal. We made $40 million.
We created $40 million out of thin air. This is a success. Logan replies, this nonchalance worries me. F 40 million. It was at 120 million, which...
Now, this is a dude who lives in Puerto Rico to save money on taxes, who has probably $50 fucking million with all of his assets combined. And he's freaking out because he's only making $40 million out of thin air with no product to back it up, with no value to give to the people investing, instead of $120 million in literally just a day of a launch and just hyping this product up. That's fucking bullshit. That is such insane levels of greed to me that I cannot possibly fathom. I'm in an amazing position because of what has happened through YouTube and streaming and content creation. But I'm also good. You know, once you hit $1 million, a couple $1 million, once you're able to buy your dream home, get anything you want, cover your family, everyone loved around you, why do you need more money? It's just a fact that I cannot just fathom. I cannot wrap my head around. Now, where did this whole drama end? Well, it hasn't really ended. I mean, in fact, Logan Paul just stopped talking about it for 2 years. He scammed everybody, and only the people who were invested kind of knew about the scam. Everyone else had no idea until this 3-part docuseries was dropped. In fact, Logan Paul tried so hard to just kind of swipe it under the rug, he started a new crypto project, a new NFT project called 99 Originals, which is now valued at like $1.8 million. A project that was actually pretty widely considered a success. And it wasn't until, again, CoffeeZilla made these videos that it came into public discourse, and Logan Paul finally, after years of being silent about scamming tons of people out of millions of dollars, where he decided to talk about it. And he said, while I generally appreciate Steven, CoffeeZilla's creative genius and exceptional work ethic, I mean that, this is simply not true. When appropriate, all bad actors will be exposed, explained, and held fully accountable. I'll speak further on Impulsive January 3rd. You had 2 years to talk about this. Why did it take somebody making a 3-part docuseries to finally own up to your fuck-ups and mistakes? As the majority stakeholder in CryptoZoo, that makes no sense to me. He was super happy to sell his crypto eggs for $2.5 million. He was super happy to sell millions of dollars of CryptoZoo token, but not so happy to actually man up when he needed to on a project that he said, in his own words, would make people money, that he was super passionate about and poured $1 million of his own cash into, which, according to CoffeeZilla, was also a lie. Anyway, he blocked CoffeeZilla, so I don't know how much he actually appreciated Steven's creative genius. And then he also invited CoffeeZilla to come on to his podcast, which is kind of funny because he's replying to an email thread that involves a third request for comment. I mean, CoffeeZilla did his fucking research as much as any journalist that I've ever seen, as somebody with a journalism degree. 3 attempts to reach out for comment, silence, and only when the video blows up is he trying to cover his ass. And this is also a bit funny that he invited him on Impulsive because it came just a day after CoffeeZilla invited him to come on his show privately, like a mature person would, as opposed to Logan Paul, who tweeted it out. Either way, super disappointing to see for somebody who I thought was on a redemption trail, who had matured quite a bit, whose content I thought was really amazing. But it seems like Logan Paul's main ability is to hype things up, create a lot of attention around things, make good videos, but not to follow through, be a good, ethical, and moral actor as somebody with a lot of power and a lot of fans. So disappointing there. Great video. Check out the rest of it. And thank you all for watching. All right, that's it. All right, I got to go now. See you later. All right, subscribe. All right, see you later. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye.